Well, it's finally done. I don't know about you, if you can remember the experience of walking out of your last exam at university or college, maybe even your final exam of your entire degree. I know it's summertime. Maybe some of you have just had something similar to that experience. Maybe you finished a project that you've been working on for a long time. Well, today I want to share something I'm really proud about. So welcome aboard to Finding Traction.
Ready?
When it comes to porn, are you stuck, spinning out, or slipping backwards in your life? If so, then welcome to the Finding Traction podcast, a show dedicated to those who are looking to gain recovery momentum away from porn and toward the life and relationships they have always hoped for. Now, here's your host, Vern Tomke.
Well, 4 years ago, I had this idea as I began the process of helping guys that there was a huge need for a curriculum to help guys walk through porn recovery. Why a curriculum? Well, oftentimes guys have no sense of progress other than maybe keeping track of their slips or relapses. There was no comprehensive approach or program, and guys quickly feel like they're spinning their wheels. Some of the material I looked at, some of the courses I looked at, not to diss any particular ones, but some of them, frankly, were way too long in terms of the time that was required each week. Most guys that I know don't have 2+ hours a week to do preparation material before they meet with a group of guys. And for me, that just seemed too involved and too long. And then the other thing is a lot of groups or programs, what they would do is they would get guys into, a short 6 to 8 week course and say, okay, we're going to walk through this course and then you're going to be good to go. And for me, that was just like, that is in one sense way too short. So in one sense, the weekly amount was way too long, but then the scope was way too short. So I started thinking about how can we develop a systematic approach to helping guys walk out of their porn struggles. And the first thing I knew is it had to be accessible. And so I figured, most guys, there's so much stuff that they're doing. They maybe got 15 to 20 minutes of attention span and watching a video, and then some work along those lines, but it has to be accessible. It has to be something that doesn't require a huge amount of time. But then on the other hand, it had to be something that was long enough. So what I did is I said, okay, I am going to create like 15, 16, 17-minute videos, but I'm going to create 52 of them for 52 weeks in the year. Now, when for some reason, I just said it has to be something that is over that long enough period of time. And, I thought, can I actually come up with 52 weeks? It seemed like a big lift at the time, but as I started to collect topics, I could see, what? I was quickly into 30 and 40 topics that I thought were really important for guys to think through, engage with, and wrestle through. And so I know that most guys would love the idea of a 6-week video course or something, a quick fix that sets them on the track. But for guys like me that have embedded porn habits in their lives, and had years and years of this, acting out behaviors, I knew it would take a long, consistent journey in the right direction. So it had to be accessible. It had to, in one sense, go over a long enough period of time for this stuff to really to be able settle into guys' life and for them to develop the skills and habits that were necessary to create a brand new lifestyle. I guess the last thing I really wanted it to be was to be holistic. And what I mean by holistic is there's not just a simple one solution, one size fits all. It is a multi-dimensional thing that we've gotten ourselves into. And the way out of it also needs to be multi-dimensional. So what it needed to be was, there needed to be some learning, some understanding about what is going on in terms of this struggle in our lives. So there needed to be a process of getting up to speed and understanding the nature of our struggles. Just understanding is helpful. But then there also needed to be a relational component. We needed to learn about some relational skills and then have a chance to practice them because the whole idea is we're not going to get better unless we learn to take a relational pathway out of this. And so some of the topics we hit are relational in nature. And then lastly, we had to deal with topics related to some of the deeper issues. What were the things that predisposed us to porn in the first place? Whether it was shame or identity or family of origin or loss or unmet needs or mistaken beliefs. There's deeper rooted reasons why we turned to porn and why it was such a perfect fit and a solution for some of those deeper things. And any sort of course that didn't do that for me was way too one-dimensional. So the last place I would say it needed to be holistic was it needed to be practical, but I also believed it needed to have a spiritual dynamic as well. Now, when I say a spiritual dynamic, what I meant is not one that's so narrow that it can't help guys from a variety or perspectives or backgrounds. So all of those things were in my mind when I set out to do this thing. I want to create a course that does its best to meet all of those needs. And, my first attempt, I sat in front of a web camera and created these 52 weeks. And it had typos in it. The sound was bad. The picture was worse. But a lot of guys got help from it. And, it proved to be helpful. And it was a great learning experience for me. But more than a few well-meaning guys trying to be nice say, Vern, this is really good, but you do need to really kick it up a notch. And so with lots of encouragement, for me to scale things up, I said, okay, it's time. And so about 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, my pastor and friend Jeff, he is great with camera work. And so he began to film me. We began to get together and film me. And then I had this amazing guy from Scotland, my buddy Dave. And Dave basically is amazing with all the video editing. And he agreed to help, which was a huge undertaking, 52 videos. And so they came together. And then the last thing is I said, okay, this is going to cost a chunk of money because I don't want a bunch of guys to put all this time in for free. And so I put the word out, and a bunch of guys stepped forward and says, hey, this has been helpful to us. We would love to support this project financially. So bear with me. So Matt P., Colin M., Brian V., Jim H., Bill W., Jeff B., James A., Ben W., David J., Clay M., Bill E., and then all of my buddies in Sydney, Australia, that essentially sponsored an entire quarter. All of these guys say, let's make this happen. And so it has been a huge labor of love to see guys come together. And the result was we have just finished the 52-week video course, Finding Traction. And I'm super proud of it. I'm super proud of the material. I think it can be incredibly helpful. I'm proud of all the work, the camera work and the video editing work. It's fun. It's got video clips in it. It's got worksheets that go along with it. It's got MP3 so you can listen to it in your car. It's been something that, it's 3 or 4 years ago. I don't think I would have, it was an idea, but I'm going, man, this is a long haul. It felt like a 4-year university degree. So let me just say, if you would love to see an example of the what the lessons look like and feel like, I'd encourage you to go. If you are a YouTube guy, I know not everybody likes hanging out on YouTube, but if you're comfortable with that, you could go on YouTube and you can simply type in Houston, we have a problem, and my name, Vern Tomke, and that 16-minute video will come up, the very first one, which is a great example of the first video of 52. Another way you can watch an example of the video is just go on the website, bandofbrothers.care, click through to the Finding Traction tab on the top, and then you can click on the video and watch the first video. Once again, it's called Houston, we have a problem. Now let me just say this. I know that there's no course or body of material that will make you recovered simply by going through it. I think it can be a huge help and a great tool, but I say to the guys, this is just the bare bones, the skeleton. The real meat, the life that goes on this is the life together that we share that really unlocks change in our lives. There's an old AA quote, we can do what I can. What I can't. Let's say that again. We can do what I can't. And so some guys, get together with me, and I'm often collecting groups of 5-6 guys, and essentially I mentor them through the 52-week video course. Every week we go through a lesson. They do the lessons on their own, and then they show up and we really unpackage it, how it impacts and what it says to our lives. So a lot of guys really prefer that format because they've got me to work through with them some of the issues that come up. But not everyone's in that place. There's guys, you might be somebody that goes, you know what, I've already got 1 or 2 accountability buddies. And but I will say this, they might say, you know what, but oftentimes we just get together, even though we want to be accountability buddies, even let's say specifically it's around porn or purity, but oftentimes we feel like we're just maybe spinning our wheels, or we're just sharing our failures, or we're not really wanting to talk about our failures, and we end up talking about football, or I guess hockey up here in Canada. But so it could be any of those things. So I just wanted to say I would love you to take a look. I feel like I don't know, building somebody who built a project and then wants to have friends over and says, guys, you got to see what I built. And I want to just say it's really been a great ride to do this. I'd love you to share it with me. And so again, if you want to go on either on YouTube or the tab in the website and check out the brand new 52-week video course, Finding Traction. We'll see you next time.